Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wllm Theatre and today's performance by the Reduced Shakespeare Company. Before we get underway, I have a few brief announcements. The use of flash photography and the recording of this show by any means, audio or video, are strictly prohibited by the management. Also, thank you for joining us. Also, please refrain from eating, drinking, or smoking anything whilst in the theatre. For your convenience, toilets are located in the lobby, and please take a moment now to locate the exit nearest your seat. Should the theatre experience a sudden loss of pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically. Simply place the mask over your nose and mouth and continue to breathe normally. If you're at the theatre with a small child, please place your own mask on first and let the little bugger fend for himself. At this time, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Daniel Singer of the Reduced Shakespeare Company. And tonight we are to attempt a feat which we believe to be unprecedented in the theatre. That is, to capture, in a single theatrical experience, the majesty, the genius, the towering grandeur of the complete works of William Shakespeare. Now, we've got a lot to get through today, so at this time, I would like to introduce a member of the company who is one of Rosal Kama's preeminent Shakespearean scholars. He has a bachelor's degree from the University of Fujairah, where I believe he read 2 books about William Shakespeare. He is here today to give us a brief preface to the complete works of William Shakespeare, Abridged. Please welcome me in joining Mr. Jess Borgeson.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. William Shakespeare, playwright, poet, actor, philosopher, a man whose creative and literary genius have had an immeasurably profound impact upon the consciousness and civilization of the entire English-speaking world. And yet, how much do we inhabitants of the 21st century really know and appreciate the tremendous body of work contained in this single volume? Too little, I would argue. I believe I could illustrate my point by conducting a brief poll here amongst our audience. If I could have the house lights for just a moment, please. Now, you are a theatre-going crowd, no doubt above average cultural and literary awareness. And yet, if I could have a brief show of hands, how many of you here have ever actually seen or read a play by William Shakespeare? Any contact at all with the bard? Just raise your hands. Huh. Interesting. I think they might know more than we do. We better get out of here.
Don't worry about it.
No, really, we should stop running now.
These guys don't know Shakespeare from Star Wars. Just keep going.
What should I do?
Narrow it down.
What?
Narrow it down.
Let's see if we can narrow it down a little, shall we? Who here has ever seen or read All's Well That Ends Well? Ah! That seems to have separated the wheat from the chaff rather nicely. Let's see who the true Shakespeare trivia champs are we? Who here has ever seen or read... I've never even heard of this one. King John! King John, anyone? You have? Really? Would you mind telling us what it's about?
It's about 3 hours long.
Oh, God.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you may laugh, you may scoff, but let he amongst you who is free from sin live in a glass house. But this face, ladies and gentlemen, this face represents all your faces. These glazed eyes are your glazed eyes. These empty brains are your empty brains. And these teeth are your teeth. And they cry out, blasphemy. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that our society's collective capacity to appreciate, much less attain, the genius of a William Shakespeare has been systematically compromised by computers, vandalized by video games, saturated by soap operas, and dealt its death blow by George W. Bush. But have no fear. The reduced Shakespeare Company is here. We descend upon you on a mission from God and the literary muse to spread the holy word of the bard to the masses, to help you take your first halting steps out of the 21st century quagmire of Jersey Shore, Gossip Girl, and the Kardashians, and into the future, a glorious future, a future where this book will be found in every hotel room in the world. This is my dream, ladies and gentlemen, and it begins here, tonight, in this very room. Help us to walk down the path towards the brave new world of intellectual redemption by opening your hearts. Yes, please open your hearts and your wallets, or simply charge your donations to a Visa or MasterCard by calling 1-800-THE-BARD right now. Give us your cash if we be friends, and deduct it when the tax year ends. On with the show, and may the Bard be with you. Thank you, and hallelujah.
Thank you, Jess. Now, those of you who own a copy of this book know that no complete works collection is, well, complete without a brief biography of William Shakespeare. Providing this part of the show is the third member of our company. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Adam Long.
No, leave him. They go in order.
Okay.
And there's other stuff on there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been compiling a few notes about Shakespeare's life and everything, so we can get to know what he did and stuff.
Yeah, just get on with it.
Okay. William Shakespeare.
Nailed it.
William Shakespeare was born in 1564 in the town of Stratford-upon-Avon in Warwickshire. The third of 8 children, he was the oldest son of John Shakespeare, a locally prominent merchant, and Mary Arden, the daughter of a Roman Catholic member of the landed gentry. In 1582, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, a farmer's daughter. Farmer's daughter. But he left Stratford shortly after when he was caught poaching in a deer park belonging to a local justice of the peace. In 1588, Shakespeare arrived in Stratford. And by 1592, he was already established as an actor and a playwright. However, by 1608, his literary production had lessened, and it is believed he spent more time in Stratford. There he dictated to his secretary, Rudolf Hess, his book Mein Kampf, which set forth his program for the restoration of Germany to a prominent place in Europe. After reoccupying the Rhineland zone and annexing Austria, the Sudetenland, and certain parts of Czechoslovakia, Shakespeare invaded Poland on the 1st of September 1939, thus precipitating World War II. You learn something every day.
Really?
Shakespeare stayed in Berlin when the Russians entered the city, and there he committed suicide with his mistress, Eva Braun. He lies buried in a church in Stratford, though. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the Reduced Shakespeare Company is proud to present the complete works of William Shakespeare, Abridged.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women in it merely players. They have their entrances and their exits, and one man in his time plays many parts. One man in his time plays many parts. How true! Ladies and gentlemen, where better to begin our exploration of the complete works of this greatest of English playwrights than in Verona, Italy, with two of his most beloved characters, Romeo and Juliet. Now, Adam and Daniel will attempt to portray all the major character roles in Romeo and Juliet, while I fill in with bits of narration. After extensive textual research and analysis, we of the reduced Shakespeare Company have decided to begin our abbreviated version of Romeo and Juliet with the prologue.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge, break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife.